Feeling Good by Dr. David Burns is a book that changed my life. Burns' theory is that thoughts create your mood, and if you can change your thoughts, then you can change your mood. So he offers a lot of tools that you can do to retrain your thought patterns so that you can improve your mood. It is a remarkable book that helped me deal with guilt, shame, anxiety, depression, and other emotions. The book taught me to use cognitive-behavioral therapy methods to deal with my moods in a way that was very low stakes, low risk. The book's effectiveness is even backed by a standalone study that was shown to reduce depression severity in patients who read the books according to surveys that the patients took. I would highly recommend this book. Some of my unfiltered thoughts about this book. I've talked about this book quite a lot in some of my past YouTube videos. I did at least 2 other YouTube videos about it, and I don't know if I have anything more to say about it other than it's great. It's great because it's a low-risk means of dealing with depression. Some methods of dealing with depression are kind of high risk to some of us. This is a great low-risk way of, you know what, I don't want to go to a counselor, I don't want to go on antidepressants, but I'm going to read this, and no one's going to judge me. There are not going to be any negative side effects. The worst case scenario with this is you read it and it doesn't work, and you're just as worse off as you were before, and that's not really a big deal. Now, I'm not saying that somebody should not go on antidepressants and just read this book, or not go to counseling and read that book, but I just think it's such a great resource because it's available out there. There's even a study that said that it helped people who read it in less than a month. And the tools are really logical, and once you get into the content of the book, they really make a lot of sense. I think the main takeaway lesson that I learned from this book, the advice in it, one of the biggest things that I liked was the idea that self-worth is intrinsic and it can't be based on anything in the material world. That was one of those things that I felt really good about. In other words, it doesn't matter how much money you make an hour, it doesn't matter how many cars you drive, and it doesn't matter how many people you slept with, it doesn't matter how successful you are or how prestigious your job is or how many suits you own. There's no measurement that you can equate to your self-worth. You can't degrade your self-worth, and you can't build up your self-worth. Your self-worth is pretty much a static, abstract concept, and because it's an abstract concept, there's nothing in the material world that can make it bigger or smaller. That was a huge revelation to me, and I was very appreciative of that book. So if you've ever dealt with anything like that, any of those negative moods, guilt, shame, depression, anxiety, I would highly recommend picking up that book and reading it, giving it a shot, because what's the worst thing that can happen? You'll be the same as you were before, so who cares? It's just a book. It's not going to harm you.